right now, what you put in is what you get out, literally. How you feel and function as a human being is based on what you put in your body. It's the food you eat, it's the company you keep, it's the air you breathe, it's the information you take in, music, television, all of that. And nowadays, it's even more serious because of AI. You have to figure out, is it true? Is it a real person? Is it a real story? Is it true? So there's a lot going on, and that's a lot of work. And what you put in your body has to do with how you feel and how you take in that information. And if you're not feeding your body the proper food, which we call medicine, then we end up with a lot of brain fog. And that's not fun. So get your pen and paper out because we're going to be discussing a ton of good, relatable information that you'll need to know, things that will help you, different foods that you can use, spices, herbs, different things that you can use to get yourself out of that brain fog and into using your food as medicine so that later in life you won't have to use medicine as your food. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
Great.
All right, now we got somebody out there looking at us today. How about that?
What's in your medicine cabinet? What is in your medicine cabinet? Is your medicine cabinet filled with nature or is it filled with pharmaceutical drugs? Right? If food is medicine, what does your medicine cabinet look like? Do you have your herbs? Are you cleansing? Are you detoxing? Are you using food for what food is for? Or are you using it for the emotional and filling voids?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Is the food really your medicine, or is it or in your medicine cabinet, do you have a bunch of synthetics? So we want to definitely talk about having food as your medicine versus synthetics as your medicine. And if we're using the proper foods, and it can be a lot, because when you're not using the proper foods and you have brain fog, then you've got a whole lot of other things going on, dopamine, and your mind tells you want this and you crave this and sugars and everything else, and you end up sick is what happens. So we really need to take a good look at what we're eating, why we're eating it, and what we can do to change those things. Definitely. All right. So where do we go from here? Now we have our mind, and our mind has an ego, and that ego will do things like lead you in the wrong direction when it comes to food. And the simple thing that it does is that dopamine effect. You start having those cravings for food. So we need to learn how to listen to our bodies, because our bodies will tell us exactly what's going on. And the reason I said in the beginning, what you put in is what you get out, because that's the literal truth. When you put good, clean food and herbs in your system, what you get out flows easy. When you put in heavy foods and a lot of sugars and all that, you'll find yourself in the bathroom a little longer in most cases. So it's really true. What you put in is what you will get out, or how it comes out. So we definitely want to take a look at it, and look at it from how we feel. You don't need a doctor to tell you. You just have to pay attention to your own body. And your body will tell you better than your mind will tell you if you're not eating properly, because what's going to happen is your mind is going to have brain fog, and then you're not going to be able to make that decision. So instead of coming from up here, we need to come from down here and see where we really are with what we're eating.
Your body will also show you how it's feeling. We think that getting a pain is, oh, this is just a pain. No, that might be something that was held on to, as far as that didn't break down in your body, didn't process correctly, and caused inflammation. So your body talks to you. Are you listening to your body talk? Or are you just chumping away? You can't hear what you need to hear. Instead, you're hearing those emotions. Oh, I wanted this Snickers so bad. Oh, I wanted this steak so bad. Oh, I wanted this so bad, right? Oh, I was craving this. So, in order for your body to talk to you and for you to have clarity when those messages are being transmitted, you need to cleanse out your body. You need a detox, because sometimes your body may be talking to you and maybe saying, hey, go get that Snickers out that cabinet. Go get that. Go. It might be 11 o'clock at night. You said, I'm not going to eat after 9. And you in the kitchen at 11 o'clock talking about, oh, let me go get something. Let me just snack on something. And what are you buying? What is in your cabinet to snack on? Are you setting yourself up for success or failure? Are you setting yourself up to really refuel your engine and get it revving and have this smooth running vessel? Or do you have a clunker? Are you weighed down? Are you clunked out? Are you in the bed every day? Oh, I'm so tired. You wonder why you're so tired. It's because you're not eating properly, right? So your food, because your body, in order for your body to detox that food, it has to go into a rest state. So that when you're sleeping and you're not getting proper sleep because you didn't eat correctly that day, you're waking up in the middle of the night, oh, my stomach hurts, blah, blah, it's because you haven't really took in consideration what you have eaten that day and how your body has to process that food. So when you're so sluggish and so tired, it's because you're not eating food that makes you energized. You're not feeding that spirit. You may be feeding the soul. You may, oh, my grandmother cooked this. That's what we call it, soul food. Oh, my grandma did this. Oh, you're feeding that soul. Oh, yes, because it brings you back to a memory, right? You can never attain that first moment of eating a Snickers for the first time, having butter pecan ice cream for the first time, having that juicy steak for the first time. It's never going to have that feeling again. But we keep craving and looking for that. We're looking for that feeling, or someone gave it to us. I know sometimes when I'm eating peanuts, I think about my grandfather because he loves peanuts. I'm like, oh, my grandfather done tapped in. I'm okay. What's going on? Are we really viewing food as medicine? Are we using it to heal us? Even some of our grief, even some of the pain.
Everything that you said, Joy, resonates with me. It's because I know immediately if I've eaten something that is not good for me.
That's what I said.
Immediately. And the chronic pain thing is a true thing, because if I eat something that my body does not tolerate, all of a sudden I get this pain in my body and I'm like, where the heck did that come from? It's because I ate something that doesn't agree with me. Eating for your blood type is a real thing. And I had to learn that, as an adult, and even when we talk about the mind-body connection, when people say, use your gut feeling, that's a real thing, because there is a nerve that connects from your gut to your brain. Okay. So that is a real thing. So
Your
all of
gut
what,
looks like your brain.
exactly. Exactly.
It
Look
really
at your
does.
intestines, right?
Exactly. It looks like the form. Exactly. It
Right,
sure does.
exactly,
It sure
exactly.
does.
So, every part of our system is connected in ways that we can't even imagine, right? And
We are
so if
wonderfully
you're
made.
in tuned, right, and if you're in tuned with your body, you know immediately what you should and should not be eating.
Definitely. That dopamine is something else.
Exactly.
And it's not necessarily always a sugar fix. You know, it's not always just a sugar fix. Sugar is one of those things that you crave. And they said sugar, they said sugar is worse than cocaine when it comes to habit forming. It's one of those things where it just pulls you in, and when you get it in your system, honestly, the only way to get it out is to detox, because you'll have
And we're
those
not
cravings.
saying that all sugar is bad, right?
No, not at all.
Because your body has glucose in it, right? So your body is craving this sugar, right? But what sugar is it really looking for?
There you
Is it
go.
looking for this processed sugar that's on this shelf? Or is it looking for that piece of fruit that's hanging on that tree?
And I'll tell you the difference. Let me tell you the difference. I know myself. I can go out here and let me give you, for instance, there was a company called Mad River and they made tea. And they made this wonderful green tea with lemon in it. And I used to buy it and drink it all the time in DC. This little store that sold it because you couldn't find it everywhere. And then all of a sudden they went big time. And when they went big time, Coca-Cola bought them out. And I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't realize it until I was home drinking it, got my 2 bottles just like normal, got home, started drinking it, and I started running to the bathroom. And that's what happens when I drink something with high fructose corn syrup in it. It runs me to the bathroom because it's synthetic, it's not real, and your body knows. And I kept going, something is different. I couldn't figure it out. What I ate that day that was different because I had no idea that Coca-Cola had bought out Mad River. So all day I'm trying to figure out what is going on. Why am I running to the bathroom like I've been drinking beer? And come to find out later on, I looked at the bottle and suddenly they started putting high fructose corn syrup in it. And that's the difference. You know, when you're eating things that are man-made, or come from nature, versus something that's man-made, it's a difference. And the sugars is different. The high fructose corn syrup is a synthetic. It's not real. Right. And your body does not know how to process it. Your body does not know how to process it. And that's what happens. And that's when I can tell, like I said, it's not your mind, it's your body. Your body will always tell you. We just have to learn to pay attention to it. Definitely.
Yeah. Even with salt, even with the salt cravings, I shouldn't crave so much salt. But when you cry, when you blow your nose, when you spit, it's all salty. When you sweat, it's all salty. So what's inside of you? Salt. So you're craving something that's naturally inside of you.
Exactly.
But you have to ask yourself, where are these cravings coming from? Sometimes these cravings can be, something that we've gotten into the habit of. They can be like you said, you was in a routine and a habit of just going to get this and grab it because guess what? I like the way it tastes. It made me feel a certain way, and we're going to keep those habits, right?
But
we're going to.
No, I just wanted to say what I learned too is that cravings come from parasites. If you really want to get to the root of it, when you have certain cravings for sugar, especially, or even meat, that's parasites that's putting those cravings. They're craving that, and it's making you want it as well.
Exactly. That bacteria.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was something brought to my attention about salt and sugar. Like, okay, if you're having these salty cravings, then the emotion attached with the salt is anger.
Ooh.
The emotion attached with the sugar is lack of love. Right?
That makes sense.
Right? Because you think about when you're growing up, you look at sugar and sweets as a reward. Right? It's like a love. Dessert after dinner. Oh, mommy gave me a piece of candy. Oh, I was a good girl at school. They rewarded you with, a treat, and it might have been a sugary treat.
Mm-hmm. Even Valentine's Day. Even Valentine's Day, Joy. What do they promote during Valentine's Day? A bunch of sweets.
Sweets and chocolate. Sweets and chocolate. There you go.
Because we're really not loving on ourselves. We think that's loving.
Exactly.
Is it really loving? Why are we holding on to so much anger? Why aren't you releasing this salt in other ways? Why aren't you releasing this stress, this anger? Run, jog, do something outside of just eat. Grab a bag of potato chips. Y'all know who I'm talking to. Them potato chips lovers. Because I'm one of them. I said, I must be angry. Oh my God, I don't know where. A lot of anger. And the anger affects your liver. It affects your liver.
That's funny because I only allow myself to eat potato chips maybe 2 or 3 times a year because I have a bad habit with potato chips. Lisa, you witnessed my potato chip craving. When I have some dip, some sour cream and onion dip with potato chips, I look like I haven't eaten for weeks. It's something about it, and I can't stop, and it's uncontrollable. And I will eat every chip and every last little bit of dip, and it's like, so I only allow myself to do that maybe once or twice a year, because I would eat the whole bag of chips and the whole thing of dip, and I'm measuring out to make sure I got enough to cover the rest, because I'm serious about it, and it's serious when you think about it, because it's in the mind. Cannot control. That's something I know that I have a problem with, and like I said, Lisa witnessed that. It's not cute. It's not.
But
cute.
you know what? For promotional purposes, you know, they say you can't just eat one. So
I have one bag, I have a snack bag that I grab, you know, and on here it says, I bet you will eat the whole bag. And you eat the whole bag. You eat the whole bag.
That's
it's
mind
ridiculous,
games, baby.
That's
mind games. And that's probably what's wrong with me as
and
a
I'm not
kid.
saying potato chips and sugar is bad, right? Because potato chips aren't bad. You know, just depends on how they're being cooked. If you're preparing your potato chips on your own, you know, there's a difference if you're using a certain type of oil and not these seeded oils or these fake oils that are out here that have more chemicals in them. You know, your body can recognize that potato a little better. You know, you're using sea salt, you know, your body can recognize that a little better because it's, you know, it comes from nature. You know, I'm not saying that don't eat potato chips, don't eat a piece of candy. You know, there is healthy sweets, healthy salty items out there for us to enjoy, for our body to feel good with it, you know.
And so that's one thing that I appreciate about living abroad, because you will see more of the good stuff in the grocery stores than you see the bad stuff, right? There's markets everywhere where you can get fresh produce and vegetables. You know, when you go in the grocery stores, there's an abundance of healthy things that you can purchase. And you know how in the States, when you go into a supermarket, they're constantly having displays of like snack foods and, you know, things that you're not supposed to be eating. They have it displayed all over the store that you can't even help yourself. I don't see that here in Ecuador. So that's one of the things that I absolutely love about living abroad. And I don't have the commercials tempting me on the television, you know, every 5 minutes, showing me different food items or fast food that I, you know, and then I have all these cravings. So those are the things that I appreciate about living abroad that I wasn't afforded when I lived in the United States.
And I will say this too. About the sweets here. When you go to a bakery or something and you buy cakes and sweets, they don't use as much sugar in their food as they do in the States. And it takes some getting used to. There's a couple of things that I noticed here about the food that's here. Plentiful here in Mexico with all the different fruits. People got trees in their backyard with mangoes, soursop, all kinds of everything growing everywhere. But the thing that I noticed when I first came down here, actually it was the second time I came down here when I went to the grocery store. And I went in the store because we were staying a little bit longer that time. Not that we were going to do a lot of cooking, but because normally we just got snacks, water, that kind of thing. But I just wanted to walk around and see what was going on. And I looked at the meat and I was shocked. They say it's a third world country. Well, let me tell you about this third world country. The meat has a date on it for 3 days. 3. What does the meat in the United States dates have on it? They don't have a lot of dye in the food and all that kind of stuff because it hasn't been frozen. It's got 3 days. You're going to buy it and to use it in 3 days, or you're going to buy it and freeze it within 3 days. That's it. I was like, whoa.
That part, right? Because you're going to buy what you need, right? And you're going to buy it when you need it. Okay. So a lot of times we have stocked up on so many stuff.
Exactly.
You know, thinking we going to need it later, you know, excess, you know, making sure we have it at our disposal. You know, like you said, you don't see all those snack things when you're walking out of the register. You know, as soon as you're walking out to the register, they're going to try to get you. Hey, you better get one of these Snickers. You better get some Tic Tacs, whatever it is. It's at the register. So while you're sitting there in line, you're looking And them cravings, it takes a conscientious effort not to purchase something when you're so used to purchasing it. Me still being in the States here in Washington, D.C., I go to the farmer's market, I go to different organic markets so that I don't have to experience the stuff that isn't so good for you. Yeah, I'm paying a pretty penny. And when they cut off these food stamps, I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyways.
Shut up.
I'm joking. But, when you want to eat healthy in the States, it's more expensive, right? When you're probably where you guys experience that it's not as expensive to eat healthy where you are. It's cheap to buy a piece of fruit. Our fruit is ridiculous. The cost of it is ridiculous.
I saw the price of eggs there.
Grass-fed meat. We have to advertise it as grass-fed meat, where you guys know it's grass-fed.
And on that point, right? It's easier to eat fast foods because it's cheaper. Well, it's easier to eat high preservative foods because it's cheaper. Yeah. And the nutritional foods, it's harder to be able to stock up on that stuff and have it readily available, right? That's a great point.
So let's bring this around. Let's bring this around and also show that it really isn't that expensive to do things that are healthy for you. And I wanted to start off with what I call the 5 superpowers. And these are herbs that help with 3 basic things that a lot of people deal with. We've got anti-inflammatories, antioxidants, and antibacterials. Okay, so we want to write these down.
Say that one more time, Lisa, in case for the people in the back.
For the people in the back, the 5 superpowers are going to take care of your antibacteria, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory. Okay, let's start with number 1 with clove. Now, my first experience with clove was when I had to have some teeth pulled. And the pain was absolutely crazy. So I used clove and it numbed and it was excellent. What I did not realize was how much of an antioxidant it was, and antibacterial, and also anti-inflammatory it is because of the eugenol in it. And an antioxidant, eat 2 cloves a day. Eat 2 cloves a day, just 2 cloves.
And if cloves are too strong, put them in your water.
Put them in your water.
I do clove water.
Yeah. Even if you don't eat them all, just put them in and chew on them. If
you start your day with a cup of clove tea,
yes,
your body will thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And end your day with a cup of clove tea. Your body is going to thank you as well.
We should always end our day with some tea, something warm to flush everything down anyway. That's a very important thing. Definitely. The next thing that is very important is cinnamon. And we want to try to use Ceylon cinnamon because that's the one that has packed with all the nutrients and everything for us. Cinnamon is also great for anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sometimes I sit here, I grab a banana. This is my cinnamon. I'll just stick my banana down in my cinnamon and eat the banana with the cinnamon on it. Seriously. Just to get it in my system, drink some water afterwards. Cinnamon is awesome for you as well. Another great thing, especially for anti-inflammatory, is turmeric. I take turmeric and I put turmeric with a little black pepper extract. You got to add the black pepper to the turmeric for it to absorb into your system. Put a little bit, half a teaspoon in some yogurt or in anything that you may make, even your tea. It's not the best taste, but in yogurt, it's not bad. Put a couple of drops of black pepper extract in it. Make sure
they got something trending right now. The golden milk that's made with turmeric, and the Ceylon cinnamon and the cloves and the black pepper with a little bit of coconut milk warmed up at night. You know, just yeah, that's trending right now. It's called golden milk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Make sure when you use your turmeric, you're using black pepper extract and food grade. I'm not sure if you can just use black pepper, but I always use the extract. It seems to absorb better in everything than the actual black pepper. The next important thing that we use is oregano oil. Oregano oil
Powerhouse.
is antibacterial. I use the oregano. It's strong. You'll find some that say that one is a wild one. You'll find some that say that it has 73%. I forget what they call it. The 73%. What is it? Hold on. This one says 90% CV. This one I use. It's not as strong, but the oregano, that's the wild grown, is the best one out there. You got to put it in something because it will burn the mess out of your tongue. Okay.
You know what? It's so crazy because I'm growing oregano in my little garden, and I took a piece of oregano off and chewed on it, and then later on, I reckon my mouth felt weird, like I don't know, like it had burned my mouth. So you definitely use a carrier when you're doing oregano.
Oil. You know, exactly.
Some type
I put a couple drops in some juice. Put a couple drops in some juice. But I will tell you, get the wild crafted oregano. It comes in a bottle. It's yellow, white, and blue. I forget the name of the company, but that's the best one because you 2 or 3 drops of that is fine. This one I can put 20 drops in and still can't taste it like I can taste the 2 or 3 drops of the other one. So you got to be careful of quality as well. And the last thing that I want to say is the powerhouse is ginger. Ginger is my best friend. I use ginger. I use ginger in all my juices, only except for maybe one juice that I don't use ginger in. Ginger is the bomb. Okay.
You would think that ginger was a part of our makeup, the way they sell ginger ale to us.
Okay.
I swear.
I make my own
ginger ale, anything, and we think it's healthy.
I make my own, and you know that's crazy because when I was a kid, when I would get sick, my father would always give me ginger ale, and he would give me ginger ale all the time when I was sick, and it was kind of crazy because it was the knee high and it was the dark pale. It used to burn going as a kid. It used to burn going down. So I thought every time I got sick, I was supposed to have ginger ale, not knowing that all that sugar and stuff in it. You know what I mean? So now I make my own. I get my ginger.
Come to find out that the ginger ale on the shelf don't even have ginger in them.
Okay, I get my ginger and I make it, and then I use the mineral water, the sparkling mineral water, to put it in to give it that kick. And I just have to keep it separate and mix it as I go because I made the mistake one time of putting well, at first I was using Topo Chico, but I don't use that anymore. I usually use the Schweppes mineral, and it does the same thing. But I wasted a bunch of it putting it in there and wasn't thinking, and just wasted it because it went flat. But yeah, I make my own. Ginger is a powerhouse, and especially for inflammation. And right now, I know personally,
digestive tract. You know, like having a cup of ginger tea after you've eaten a big meal. You know, we keep talking about
eating big meals. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We keep talking about, eating and food being medicine. If we really look at food as medicine, when you look at these drugs that are prescribed to you, how often are you prescribed to take this medicine? Maybe once a day. But we find ourselves eating maybe 5 times a day, 3 meals and 2 snacks. Are we eating too much?
And they're always telling you, about 3 square meals. And then they're telling you about, oh no, you should eat 6 small meals. And the bottom line is you should eat when you're hungry.
When you look at nature, you have to ask yourself, does nature eat as much as we're eating? No. Sometimes they skip a day. Sometimes they skip 2 days, right? So fasting is necessary in your health journey, so food can be your medicine. You have to allow, the food to digest, even after you've eaten. You should wait 30 minutes before you drink,
Exactly.
because your food is going down through these tubes, through these things, and now you want to put water at the same time. You're messing your systems up. You're making your system work so hard, and you say, why am I so tired? Because you didn't work your system so hard.
Exactly.
That's why you're tired.
And then and you wake up that way as well, because your system doesn't get a chance to really rest. And if you're not getting rest and you're not getting that REM sleep, then your body is not healing itself. And it's so important. And another thing that's important too, I was going to say, if you get a chance, stop on our website. It's on the YouTube page, and it has the 21-day 7-step guide, 7-step 21-day guide. And it gives you some things that you can use on a daily basis to get you in a better mindset, to get you in a better physical set, your body. And the first thing you should do when you wake up in the morning is drink some water to help flush out those toxins that your body had a chance.
What temperature is the water?
Room
Definitely
temperature.
room temperature or warmer.
Room temperature,
Room
yeah.
temperature or
Room temperature
warmer.
water. You want to flush out all those toxins that your body had a chance to digest and work through while you were sleeping and getting the.
Also add some nutrients to your water, because some of this water that we're buying, that we're getting on the shelves right now,
of the water that we're buying
does not have the minerals or the electrolytes that we're needing. It's not like how the plants are getting rainwater. It's not like how the plants are sitting in the soil and they have nutrients coming through them all the time. So for us, we have to put these nutrients inside of us, so squeeze a little lemon, add a little Celtic salt, to your warm water, maybe a little teaspoon of baking soda, if you have some gas that has built up because you probably ate and drink, you probably went to bed too early, you probably didn't allow your food to process, and so now your stomach hurts.
Exactly.
So there are a few little things that you can put in your water to, help your water do what it needs to do, because regular water is not going to do it. It doesn't really have anything in it. It can flush if you drink enough of it.
Enough of it, exactly. But a lot of times you drink too much and then you feel sluggish from that.
Yes.
Because it's not really quenching your thirst, because it doesn't have all the electrolytes and things in it that it used to have.
Because it could be dehydrating you.
Yes.
Yeah. The only time I feel hydrated for real is from fruits.
Yeah.
Like if I eat melons and stuff like that, and grapes and stuff, those are the only times that I feel hydrated, honestly.
So there is H2O and then there is H3O. So H3O is fruit water.
Yes.
You have more hydrogen for the oxygen to move around in those cells, so that you can get what you need. That's why you feel a lot better when you eat a piece of watermelon, you eat a piece of cantaloupe. It's hydration. Even when you do a cucumber is one of the most hydration.
Absolutely.
Hydration. 98% of the cucumber is fruit water, is H3O. So that's important.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you've liked what you've heard today, please like and subscribe Inner Joy Podcast. Like and subscribe and share with your friends and family. We'll be returning next week, Thursday, same time, same place.
And next week we're going to be talking about fast. We'll probably be continuing this conversation, and also we'll be talking about fasting and the importance of giving your system a break. A lot of people are scared of fasting, but even if it's only intermittent fasting where you're doing like 16 hours no food and 8 hours you're eating food, every little bit helps, because you're giving your system a chance to slow down and process and do what it needs to do. Although I think it's important for us to do a fast at least 24 hours here and there. There are other things that is good for starving, not necessarily starving yourself, but just giving yourself that break, it helps with so many different things because our body, well, stores fat, that kind of thing, but it feeds off of sugar and all those things. And one of the best ways to stop that dopamine and all that, is to fast, detox, and then to fast and get those things out of your system. So next week we'll be continuing the food is medicine and talking about fasting. And we hope you join us here on the Inner Joy podcast, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Peace.
Bye.
See y'all.